that there in the past. We're only going forward on the path. Leave that there and that didn't last. I gotta go, or forget that past. There then and that. That's there which went bad. That is what was so sad. Leave that there in the past. Only going forward on the path. Leave that there where so sad. Leave that there where so bad. Going forward on the path. Leave that there, then dead on the tracks. Leave that there and bear the facts. There and dead on a dead track. Leave where it was once so sad. Leave what was so bad. We're only going forward on the path. Only going forward. Forget that track. Going forward on the path. That was there, then and that. That was there. What was once so sad. That was there. Who cares? You don't care. That's too bad. Only go forward on the path. Leave it there where she didn't that color hair. She used to live in that chair. She loved that stare. Couldn't get nowhere. Got that glare. Didn't get to do that or fair. All love is fair. All love and war is fair. And never really got to go there. All love and war is fair. Didn't really get to go there. You gotta change the color of your hair. Going forward on the path. You forget what's bad, what's so sad. Only going forward on the tracks. Leave that dead there, right there, where it belongs in the past. Only going forward on the path. Leave that dead shit in the past. We're only going forward. We're only going forward on the path. Leave that where this was that. What was once so bad. What was once and so sad. What was once and you didn't know what you really had. Going forward on the path. Leave that trick in a path. Leave that trick in a trick bag. Forget about what you didn't have. But it was so sad. What turned out so bad. You're going forward on the path. Keep that in your trick bag. What was once so sad. Keep that in your trick bag. Don't hold on to what you ever had. Leave that in your trick bag. Don't hold on to what you never had. Leave that in your trick bag. Go forward. Don't live in the past. Only on the forward path. What was once so sad, and what was once so bad. Or leave that in that trick bag. All the things that make you feel so sad. Always going forward on the path. What once was, and a trick bag. You're gonna forget what you never had. All our life sometimes comes out pretty bad. Always going forward on track. Yeah, leave that needle behind us on another track. Always going forward on the path. And leave all that trick in that dead track. I'll leave all that shit back in the trick bag. Don't remember about the love that you never had. And go forward on the path. Forget what was once so bad. Only going forward on the path. Forget that shit in a trick bag. Always remember what was so sad. Don't forget that love you ever had. Well, you should get that love you never had. One that made you feel so bad. One that made you feel so sad. One that made you have a heart attack. Always going forward on the path. Leave that shit in the trick bag. Forget that love that made you so sad. Forget that shit in that trick bag. Forget that stuff that only made you sad. Only going forward on the path. Forget that stuff that makes you wanna feel love. Forget that stuff that drives you to do the drugs. Forget that stuff that makes you all about trust. Forget that stuff that is too much. Forget that stuff that was too much. That was only lost. Get that stuff, the only one that left you apart from your one true heart. Get that stuff that left you falling apart. Moving forward on a path. Yeah, after those things that made you sad. Only moving forward on the path. And those things that made you feel so bad. And those things that made you sad.
This is Family Like the Ghost, and we're going to talk about the song Trig Bag, which was our latest kind of stream of consciousness type of song. And Family Like a Ghost is my vehicle for doing electronic music, and I've been recording electronic music for several years. I don't use a digital audio workstation or a DAW. I use a hardware workflow with analog and digital synths. This year I moved into using a Eurorack. So I have an Arturia 6U with a Moog Mother 32, which is a great semi-modular synth, and then a DFAM, which is another great synthesizer. And I combine them with a Make Noise Morphogene, which is a sampling Eurorack module, which is a very awesome machine for You're doing all kinds of cool things with samples where you can do a lot of time shifting and splicing and gene manipulation. A lot of what happens with my songs is I sample myself. I sample old Phantom Electric Ghost songs, and then I kind of rip them up with the Morphogene. And then I also have a math module, which has a lot of sonic goodness too, because you can rip things up with that. So if you take those two modules together, you can do a lot of sonic manipulation. On top of that, I have an MX1 performance mixer, which allows me to do a lot of cool things. One of them is to take analog monophonic signals that are just mono, and then actually output them on a left and right output to a Zoom R24 to get them into stereo. So when I record my monophonic synths or my vocals, which are typically not stereo, I'm able to take the outputs from an MX1 performance mixer. You have an input, of maybe a quarter-inch monophonic line, and then you output it as two stereo lines, left and right, into a Zoom input. So maybe tracks 1 and 2 suddenly now have a Studio Electronics microphone that's stereo, or a Moog Mother 32 that's stereo, or a DFAM that's stereo, or an Arturia 2S, or any of my modules. This particular song, Trig Bag, is basically this idea that you kind of can get triggered by all kinds of things in life, and this person kind of like is like you know kind of an art bag type of person. Don't want to denigrate people, but the idea is like sometimes you got these people, some folks that are kind of like a little caught up in themselves, and so this person kind of like caught up in themselves, and then they have this kind of trigger where that things get they trigger them in their life, and they kind of get manipulated in that way. And this song is kind of just develops that idea and just runs with it, and it kind of stream of consciousness poetry, and I like to use that as inspiration. So when I put tracks down, or go into it and kind of stream it and see what happens. And a lot of times, you get a lot of cool feel for these things. Um, this song is like I'm not going to get into it a lot because it's kind of self-explanatory in the actual sound itself. But the hardware workflow I really like using because you kind of can just do whatever you want right at that time. Um, you can do the overdose right by the machines, and when you're right on your instruments, they kind of give you like a point in time kind of jazz kind of thing. So a lot of things I do are kind of like Sun Ra inspired, or just like old school kind of jam band inspired. That I do sometimes go back and I look at old songs, or I try to structure things out where I really plan it out. In some cases, it's kind of just like it just is the moment, and you feel in the moment. One odd note, our pet parakeet, Vanity, who was with us since 2008, passed away last Thursday. It was very kind of big heart pain for me. It was a lot of loss last year. My father died from Alzheimer's in a real tragic death, and then I had my brother's first wife. She died from MS, and then I had this relationship with the great artist Out Control K, and I kind of fell apart, and we weren't able to do a promotion for our album To Infinitum, which is still out there, and I'm very happy with what we did there. But we kind of broke up like Big Star right upon the release of our record back on December 22nd, 2017. We never really got to go anywhere with it. I know she's doing a lot of cool stuff with VR, so everybody should go check out All Control K. Check out like Back to the Dollhouse, a lot of her cool work that's out there. Plus our album To Infinitum. As always, we worked with Chernobello.com, and he did a cover for To Infinitum. We're actually working on a brand new record called Dark Ghost, the Spider Puppets, and Chernobello has created a lot of cool art for that. We're planning on doing a vinyl, but not probably till next year. We are trying to negotiate with a record label, do tour support. And there's one other thing I want to do is like we used to have a show on Spearman podcast app where we used to talk about all kinds of things. Started with rock tunes, and then we brought in All Control K. We've been continuing it on Anchor. We've interviewed Kendra Black, has a song with Snoop Dogg. We've interviewed Shannon Ariana, who has her album Eon Flux. and we've interviewed the Heritage, and we've talked about their song Red Lips, and they've got some real cool stuff, including a Drake cover they did. Um, we're on the path to talk to a bunch of other artists, and we brought back over our interview with the Muted and put it back onto this platform. So we're very excited about what we did there. We're going to be bringing our Christina Passion conversation also there. But as I said, we'd like to get a co-host to do product reviews and also interviews with indie bands. So if anybody wants to kind of jump in on what we're doing here, where we talk to indie artists and we review all kinds of cool gear, um, just send a voice memo. Favorite me on Anchor. Send a voice memo through the Anchor app. If you want to do a podcast, we do it like a once a week, and we would talk about all kinds of cool stuff they would see at Super Booth or NAMM. So if you know what I'm talking about, that's the kind of person I want to deal with. Somebody that would know what a DFAM is, would know what a subharmonicon is, and would be able to talk about like a Prophet X, or all kinds of synthesis. And not just synthesis, like if you're into classic bands like the Velvet Underground, or like, or if you're into like, Flock of Seagulls, or anything that's cool, anything going back to new wave, new romantics, punk rock, anything related to music. If you want to talk about it, and then we talk about the process behind music, and we're looking specifically for female musicians because we don't think that a lot of female musicians get a lot of headway on the net. There's a lot of older men talking about product, talking about all kinds of things, but there's not a lot of women doing it. Mogfest introduced a lot of cool DJs this year and gave a big focus to women artists, and we would like to do that as part of what we do with the Ghost. We have Josephine Electric, which is my alter ego, but there's a sensitivity to like trying to bring out a different point of view, whether it's the female inside of me or talking to other females that I would like to work with. Um, so if we can get somebody to join us, that would be really cool. And hope you guys enjoy this song. It's going to be released shortly on iTunes. Also, we're really happy that Landauer is now supporting cover tunes. We're licensing, so we just put out a cover of Bobby Womack's classic, "The Woman's Gotta Have It," which is Josephine did a version. Josephine Electric, my alter ego, is out there on all the streaming services. We also put back out a song we had out that we put on a couple of years ago on Reverb Nation. We had a song called "Outplayed by the Man," and we were interviewed on out there um, for this song, and we put it back out. It's on all the streaming services, and it's actually got the Phantom voice, or my regular singing voice, which I don't use that much. We are working on a Phantom only non-Josephine record. We're working on a couple other projects. We want to work with some filmmakers, and we also are very excited that we worked with Metaflow to put out the song "Wounded Home," which is shortly coming out. It's on our SoundCloud, but it's going to be on all the streaming services. It's a really cool idea. We were going to do like a short little film, and it was actually the dialogue that Flora actually created. Metaflow, if you see her on Instagram, she created this awesome. She's a filmmaker. She does a lot of cool stuff, motion animation, really cool stuff that she does. She's done some really good some music out there too. Um, Hospital Humor, I believe, is her band. She had a band on SoundCloud. It's a really good record. Um, and she just had this really cool script, and I took it and made a bunch of different songs based on it. Called Wounded Home Room. It's like a wounded home, wounded room. It's a weird concept, but it's pretty cool. And stream of consciousness again. It's kind of using her style, which felt like stream of consciousness, which really clear. Was like I was very. I saw something that she was doing with her writing that's very similar to what I do, and I like to do that when I was working with All Control K. We saw that had that kind of feel. Um, I was working with Lonnie Claire. We had a really good feel, and Metaflow. This is a really cool feel. I would love to do some more work with her. I know she's doing some other things, but we were able to at least do this record, and it's like a bunch of different versions of the songs. Probably got like 5 versions. I put out 3 of them. I'm probably gonna set them up as an EP put them on CD now or CD baby. But this is what I had to talk about today, and we'll talk to everybody later. Thanks.